Hey guys, welcome to On the Docket with the Fab Attorney. So excited, guys. So obviously I'm new to this YouTube thing, and in today's episode, it's going to be probably like 5 to 10 minutes long. What's the headlines? The Currys. Dell, Sonya Curry, they're getting divorced after 33 years. So on the docket and on this channel, I sometimes am going to be doing reaction videos, or I'm going to be teaching you guys things, and I'm going to be using sometimes public figures, public titles, things that are going on. This is in no way to, in any way, be harmful or judgmental to anybody going through divorce or anything like that, such as the Currys. The point and my intention is to use what's going on in mainstream society, in pop culture, and extrapolate the facts and extrapolate some legal information and have a discussion that can help us make decisions a little differently as it relates to divorce, as it relates to relationships. I don't believe a lot of people, I'm a divorce attorney, guys, a real divorce attorney. I am licensed in 2 states. I've been practicing for a decade. And there's common threads that I see when people get divorced, when people are considering divorce, when people are in court fighting over assets, custody, things like that. And the one thing that's very striking and resonates with me is that I don't believe a lot of people actually sit down and think with our prefrontal cortex about these life decisions, about who we're marrying, who we're having children with, why we're in a relationship, why we're not in a relationship, if we're cheating, if we're not cheating, and what we're spreading to the media. So this story is so interesting because I'm going to talk about 3 points that I feel that are dynamic and that we can learn from. The number one thing is what's all over the headlines: cheating. I'm going to answer the question: is cheating important in a divorce? Why are these 2 people who've been married for 33 years, who have children and grandchildren, and I want to say who've been pretty low profile, why would they start slinging mud? There's a legal reason why. Okay, second thing I want to look at that this story sort of brings out for us, which is very interesting, is children and divorce. Children, how much do you share with the children? Are the children going to be picking sides? Why Steph Curry and Aisha Curry seemingly have chosen sides, what I have seen in my practice. So I'm going to speculate a little bit about that. And gaslighting and the retaliatory cheat. This is something that I see all the time. So let's get into the facts. So third thing is gaslighting and the retaliatory cheat. You guys with me? Good. So number one, is it important? Does the court care whether or not somebody is the person who cheated, had an infidelity in a marriage? The answer is in a lot of states, yes. In some states, no. For instance, Florida is a no-fault state. Sonya and Dell Curry have been married for 33 years. They have 3 children. They have several grandchildren. Dell Curry, they met in college, and Dell played in the NBA many years ago. They're now in their late 50s. Okay, so they've probably acquired a lot of wealth, maybe some businesses, some investments. They're probably multimillionaires in their own right. Based on the information that has been provided in the court documents, the parties filed for separation. Wife filed for a legal separation in March of 2020. Okay, so they've been legally separated since March, over a year ago. It's important to note. And recently in June, officially filed for divorce in the state of North Carolina. Now, it's important to note that nothing that I'm saying in this video is legal advice. This is just legal information. I am a lawyer, but I am not your lawyer. Unless you have retained me and we signed a fee agreement, I am not your lawyer. So all the information that is discussed is opinion and information, not legal advice. Okay, just wanted to make that clear. So separated March 2020, filed for the divorce. It's important to note that the wife initiated the separation. The wife initiated the divorce. She doesn't want to be married anymore. Now, let me tell you something, because I hear a lot of fodder as to why. No one knows what's going on in these people's marriages for 33 years. It is something I hear. I know it. The bodies are buried. People tell me everything. And in lots of marriages, there's a lot of foolishness that happens mutually. So I don't think this is a good time to demonize her, demonize him. But let's look at the facts we do know and the legal significance. Now, I'm not licensed in the state of North Carolina. This is just legal information. But in North Carolina, where the divorce is filed by a wife, she's a moving party, she's a petitioner. If a party is requesting alimony, okay, all right, the requesting party, which would be the wife, if the husband can show that she has cheated, a judge then has the ability to preclude her from receiving alimony or greatly reduce the amount of alimony that she is entitled to. So that is why these grown 50-something-year-old people who seem low profile are now making all these allegations in court files. It's important to note that all of this is happening in court files, and companies like TMZ have people like at the courthouses looking through court documents, which are public documents, to see if there are any celebrity divorce filings. This is very sad. Okay, so I'm quite sure they knew it probably would come out, but that wasn't their intention necessarily. We can't assume that. So it's important to note that the husband is making allegations that the wife cheated prior to March 2020 with the gentleman that she's dating now. I've seen videos on this topic where people are making speculation to demonize the wife. Please get therapy. Whatever mama issues or women issues you have, please don't project that onto here, or even the converse with respect to men is true. We don't know what is going. And I'm telling you, you would see some of the most upstanding people, and behind closed doors, very, very, very disrespectful, painful, abusive things could be happening. And we don't know who's doing what. So, but what we do know is that Dell Curry has the motive here to lie and manipulate and make it seem as if Sonya was cheating all along, whether she was or not. What we do know is that he was an NBA player. That comes with a particular lifestyle. What we do know is that they've been separated for over a year and a half. What we do know is, according to wife, that the husband has kicked her out and not allowed her to come to the marital home. So it's interesting. So in the state of North Carolina and many different states, alimony can be precluded. Party can be precluded from receiving alimony, or it can be greatly reduced if they engage in what is considered marital misconduct, which infidelity falls within that umbrella. Now, states such as North Carolina and other states, if a party cheats and the other party forgives the cheat, then the court no longer takes into consideration cheating. Now, it's important for you to know and find out if your state is a no-fault state or if it's a state that wants to know about the cheating, and whether the cheating is going to change whether you're going to get alimony and the distribution of the assets. For instance, North Carolina also is an equitable distribution state. So that means that assets are not necessarily split down the middle. They're split in a manner in which the court deems to be equitable. And that can be a plethora of factors that the court takes into consideration. So that's so interesting to note. But what I think is telling here, I think is very telling, the children. The children seem to have taken mom's side, Steph and Aisha Curry. And I'm pretty sure that the children are going to know a lot more about what's going on, the intimacies of the marriage, because they're adult children, I believe, in their 20s and 30s. So that means that dad might have been the bad guy. He might have been the serial cheater. This brings me to the second point. Don't make a rookie mistake. Listen up. This is for the people in the back. Don't make a rookie mistake, guys. I beg you. I see this all the time. It's very frustrating. If somebody is cheating on you, not coming home, has a whole side piece, a whole girlfriend, a whole boyfriend, right? Or 2, 3 of them. A lot of people want to engage in the retaliatory cheat. If Sonya did that here, that can cost her lots and lots and lots of money. This is what I know. When people are going through a divorce or in an unhappy marriage, sexless marriage with lots of disrespect, not a lot of love, not a lot of tenderness, they are very vulnerable and sometimes just like thirsty and they're in a drought. And what happens in those situations is that any place that someone can get some kind of attention and love, sometimes they seek, the comfort of a man, a comfort of a lover. Now, if you're 2 people and you guys just make normal salaries and alimony is not going to be awarded, that's between you, your God, and your own conscience. I have nothing to say about that. We're all grown. We all get to decide how we want to live our lives, right? And I'm not going to judge you on that. However, I will advise you, inform you that it's not in your best interest if you live in a state such as North Carolina where cheating can really reduce the amount of alimony or preclude you from receiving any alimony, and you need that alimony and you want to fight about that alimony. The retaliatory cheat makes no sense. I'll be honest, guys. The retaliatory cheat makes no sense to me, period. Now, if we're to believe Sonya, she did not start the relationship with her new boyfriend until she filed legal separation. There's nothing wrong with that. Because here's the thing. When people have lots of money, divorces take years and years and years. So if you file legal separation, which in some states you're required to separate for at least a year before you can file divorce papers, and you have no intention of going back, if you decide to start a relationship, that's on you. Is it my style of something I would do? I don't think so, because of a host of things. I think that after a 33-year marriage, you need to go to therapy, you need to get whole, all kinds of stuff. But I don't know their situation. So I'm just saying that if we're to believe her and give her the benefit of the doubt that she started this relationship after the separation, after he would not let her back into the marital home, the husband, that's her business. Because this kind of divorce can take a couple years. And at 55 years old, even though that's young, no one knows if we have tomorrow. So I will not stand in judgment of that. Okay. But I just want to talk a little bit about how the fact that the retaliatory cheat on an emotional, spiritual level doesn't serve you. I believe it's cowardly. If you are in a relationship, staying in the relationship, so I'm no longer talking about the Currys, and then you decide to do the retaliatory cheat, and then we're doing now tit for tat. Why? The damage, the exposure to sexual diseases, the maybe the ability to get pregnant, depending on where you are in life, it's just messy. If you are considering cheating on somebody because they cheated on you, you need to leave. You need to hit the road, Jack. You need to call it a day. And that has always been my style. Now, applying it back to Dell and Sonya Curry, if she, in fact, hypothetically speaking, okay, did decide, I'm tired of his cheating and whatever shenanigans he might have been doing, and she was just tired and decided to have some happiness for herself, doing so prior to filing a divorce or prior to filing for legal separation could rob her of millions of dollars, potentially. So it's just foolishness. And this is where the gaslighting comes in. Gaslighting, just to put it simply, is just when someone through manipulation causes you to question your own reality. Question your own reality. So sometimes when someone is a serial cheater, let's say Dell was a serial cheater in this relationship, NBA guy, serial cheater, good-looking guy, all the things, the money, and he was just cheating knocking them down like a single guy at whatever point in the marriage. Okay. And Sonya stayed because of the children. She stayed because of the lifestyle. She stayed because he was lying and manipulating her. Like he wasn't going to do anything again. He found God, all the things that certain people, manipulative people would say, right? After 33 years, she might have just had enough. Okay, and that's fine. But here's the thing. Engaging in the retaliatory cheat. Okay, now you're cheating. Now a manipulative person, and this is why I believe Steph Curry's upset. After doing you wrong for years upon years upon years upon years, can then turn around and gaslight you and make you the cheat, and make you the woman with the scarlet S, and make you dragged on the internet. Isn't that the ultimate gaslighting? And not that she should care, but it's just so interesting. You know what I mean? It's just so interesting. This is what people do. I've seen it in marriages over and over. There's one party who's just cheating, creeping, laying low, coming home late, all the things for years and years. And then the other party is just tired of it. And they try to find a little bit of happiness for themselves. And what happens? Then it gets manipulated into, especially with certain personality types, okay, into you're the cheater and you're for the streets and you're the hoe and all these types of things. And I'm in tune. I'm very interested in language. And that's pretty much what's happening right now. This seems like a nice lady. Seems like she's not been with her husband for going on almost 2 years. Seems like she's moved on. But now the narrative is that she is this and that and that. And, I think it's just interesting. I will say this. I don't think it serves anyone staying in an unhappy marriage for the kids, for the image, for anything like that. People come to my office all the time. They are miserable. They are unhappy. I do consultation after consultation. And I always ask this question. If you only had 24 months to live or a year to live, would you stay in this relationship? And if the answer is no, guys, then you need to hit the road. So I just want to recap really quickly. First point, I don't believe that the Currys meant to be messy. I think this is about money. Follow the money, right? So because of the state that they filed the divorce in, and because of the strategies, a lot of times the lawyers are running the strategy. And clients just, hey, protect me, get my best results. That is why all these allegations are in the streets. That's number one. Number two, the retaliatory cheat, if you're in one of these states where adultery can preclude you or greatly reduce your alimony, it's just not a wise move. If you get to the point where you're considering a retaliatory cheat, please call a fab attorney such as myself, file your divorce, and then have your cheat. Once the divorce is filed or the separation is filed, it then becomes moot. But I would even warn against it because it's muddy. When did it start? When did the text messages start? When did the sex start? When did the relationship start, right? You could be kind of talking to somebody for months. It becomes thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of proving when a relationship started. And it's so dirty to see this out in court, text messages and private investigators and all of the pomp and circumstance. So clean breaks, guys. If you know you're done, you're not happy, you're in a sexless marriage, you have a side piece or two, and you're afraid to walk away from a relationship, that's truly a self-esteem problem. I refer out to the therapist all the time because sometimes you have to work on yourself and your self-worth. And when you truly value yourself, when your value is high, when you love yourself, when you understand how precious and short life is, you will not allow yourself to stay in a marriage where you are miserable, where you are lonely, where you are in some cases abused. if that is the case, there's something about your self-esteem. There's a book called The Four Agreements. Love this book. My mom, when I was about 25, 26, I was going through a rough time back in New York days, and she sent me this book. And there's a line in this book, The Four Agreements, guys, and it's just a truth that changed my life. It says that, oh, it's right here. Oh my gosh. Oh. Haha. Don Miguel Ruiz. There's a line in this book, guys. I'm probably gonna start to read it tonight. Love it. I read it once a year. And it says that we only allow people to disrespect us and abuse us to the level that we disrespect and abuse ourselves. So if you are staying in a toxic environment, it's one thing, let's say Dell was in the NBA and he was doing the NBA thing. He's not been in the NBA for a long time. Many years. He has 2 sons now in the NBA. So I'm not blaming people, because I think that sometimes people, especially when you get together in your 20s, you get together because you're cute. This one has green eyes. This one has big booty. And it's not something like for substance that can sort of last and go the distance. So I don't have a judgment, but I do think we can extrapolate some lessons. So I was on number 2, which is the retaliatory cheat does not serve you whether you have money or not. If you're not being treated well in a relationship, I focus on men's rights, guys, but I also do mentoring and stuff like that for women. I love people. I love wholeness. And women are cheating. Men are in sexless marriages. Life is too short. COVID has taught us that. And if it's to the point where it's unbearable and you can't make it work with therapy, you can't make it work through the church, and you are in long suffering for years before it becomes a cheating situation or a Snap, TV show Snap situation, it's better to call a lawyer, file for the divorce, no retaliatory cheat, and have your good reputation and name. I really feel bad for the children to have your parents' illicit affairs everywhere. Woo! Now listen, this is probably happening in a lot of people's house, but no one wants their dirty laundry aired. No one. And it's just so painful when the children have to process it. I actually think it's kind of sometimes harder for adult children to deal with the divorce of their parents. Children are so much more resilient than sometimes we are as adults. And lastly, I do think, and this is an argument that I believe is missing out there. I've watched a couple of things on this, is that the fact that the Curry children are Teen Mom, I think it speaks to the fact that they know a lot more. The kids know a lot more, especially adult kids, than we could ever know. And that lets me believe if I was a betting woman, that dad is out here running wild. And I'm quite sure they love their dad, but sometimes a person could be a good dad or mom, but not a good husband or wife. So those are my thoughts. So this is a takeaway, guys. Please, especially if you made it to the end, subscribe. I'm so new to YouTube. I'm trying to get all the things together. I'm really trying to create a community of healing, thriving, and striving. And I'm just excited. Now you know. Bye.